Shannon Knight, as I told you, ShannonKnight.com, awesome life coaching. This is someone who is very knowledgeable and is just into helping people and is perfect for this station. I mean, she has gone through so many challenges that she had a death sentence pretty much, and never gave up. Perseverance should be her middle name, but she got a new book, and it's called Gratitude, and the transformation that took place in her life from her cancer journey. There's so many things we're going to talk about here. But Shannon Knight, it's my pleasure and my honor to bring to WMAP an amazing, inspirational guest, Shannon Knight. Shannon, are you on the line? Did I bore you too much?
You didn't bore me, I sure am.
Hey,
Hi,
hey,
thanks for the music.
Shannon, I can't believe you like Mudvayne.
I told you.
Well, I was gonna get to the Chris Tomlinson. I'll do it with Chris Tomlin later. But your story is just incredible. Now, here you are. First of all, let me start from the beginning here. You're in school. What were you interested in as a little girl?
As a little girl, I was just going to grow up and get married.
Right. Yeah,
I was
exactly.
getting married and have babies.
Yeah. But when did you know that your friends would come to you when there was a problem, and that you had this gift that you could listen and you could take a step back and help people?
That is a great question. It took me leaving and moving to Washington State in 2000 and having no family around me. My ethnicity is half Italian and half Mexican, and we have a lot of cousins, and I have a big family, brothers and sisters. So when I moved to Washington,
Hey, Shannon, let me interrupt you for 1 second, because
sure.
it's so personal to me, because I was married to a woman who was half Italian, half Mexican, and she tried to stab me with a chimichanga.
A chimichanga.
I'm totally kidding. That was the worst joke ever, but I thought it...
Overcooked chimichanga.
I'm sorry.
Well done.
I'm sorry. Okay, so look, so going to somewhere where you know nobody, I mean, that takes coulions.
Right. So I moved to Washington State with my daughter. Engine blew up in the car. We had no car for 2 years and no family. And that's when I learned that you can create... I had a new name, like your other show. New name, new identity, and I felt like an imposter, starting my life all over.
Wait, say that again. The car broke down?
Yeah, the engine blew up. I didn't have money to get a new car.
Oh my God! So this was on the way out there?
This was about a week in, living in Washington State.
So what'd you do?
We walked everywhere.
You did what you had to.
We had to, and I had faith then, and I did a lot of talking to God. If I didn't have faith in God, I wouldn't have got through anything. I don't know how people do. I couldn't have done it myself. So I just kept believing there was always something better around the next corner.
Shannon, did you ever blame God when the things were going real bad?
Yes, I did once. I remember a couple of times, but really, I remember one time in particular saying, why me?
Yeah.
I've done everything right. Why me?
Right.
I've tried my hardest. Why me? And then I realized, if not me, then who else? I'd rather be the one with cancer at stage 4 than my son or my daughter.
My God, yeah. I mean, this is, and guys, you don't even know where this story is going yet. But this is, when you hear this story, there will not be if you're not affected by this story, there's something wrong with you. But let's backtrack. All right, so you got no car. You're here. You don't know anybody. You are trying to do the best for your family. You have to walk to do how do you get a job?
I didn't have a Social Security number yet. I was a victim of a crime, and it took them 6 months.
Oh.
I had to beg and plead for them to trust me and just let me do anything. So I ended up getting a job as an front office, working for a chiropractor for a little while. But let me tell you, it was humbling, because they do treat you different.
What do you mean?
They know something's wrong.
You mean because they knew your situation, and that you could be replaced in a second because you had these problems that came with you that weren't your fault?
That's right.
Yeah.
And you had to trust them and tell them so that you could get the job.
Oh, that's leaving yourself very vulnerable.
Absolutely.
So how did that? So how long were you there? And then take me through Well, we feeling anything
I
wrong?
looked like a flake. I'd go from one job to the next because they'd be mean to me, and I'd be working at a casino for cash under the table. Until finally one day, when I did get my Social Security number, Shannon Knight's got her first job working at Victoria's Secret. Not really. I'd been working there for years, and that's why I got promoted so fast. I knew everything.
Wow.
So it was great.
Wow. So basically, so far, you've been dealt, as they say, a bad hand. You worked in casinos, so you know what a bad hand is. But you did what you needed to do to get to have the things that every human is not entitled to, but should have the opportunity to have. So what happens after you start working, and how are your kids in the relationship? How is everything happening there?
Trust, teamwork. By the time 2006 rolled around, that's when I got my first diagnosis of stage 3 breast cancer. And I did not want to do chemotherapy, and I did not do chemotherapy.
Shannon, can you help me? Tell me, I don't know what stage 3 means. Obviously it's probably worse than 1, but is 1 like skin cancer or something? Can you tell me, the audience, kind of just fill in?
Sure.
Because, yeah.
Yes, my unprofessional explanation of it is stage 3 means it's gone to your lymph nodes. But you'll probably get a lot of comments of people saying, no, it isn't. It means this. No, it means it's gone to your lymph nodes, which is kind of a gateway to the rest of your body and your vital organs.
So it's your glands. That's what's going to pump through the rest of your body.
Yes.
So you're in big trouble.
Yes. I was already in big trouble. Stage 3.
So the first thing you knew about it was you were in stage 3, and it's stage 4. I assume is lights out.
That's right. That's what they'll tell you in the United States. Conventional medicine says stage 4 is you're just kind of managing your symptoms. And at the time when I had, because it did recur and come back, it went away, and I was clear. And it came back in 2010, stage 4. It was in my bones, my lungs, my lymph nodes, everywhere. And they said in front of my family and my best friend that we're just going to try to keep her comfortable. I know she's not going to beat it. And they gave me 3 months to a year to live. And boy, if that doesn't kick you in the butt and say, you got to start living right and paying attention. You're not an autopilot anymore. You are paying attention to every single second that goes by. And me, I've been tenacious since I was a kid. I was quiet, but I never gave up. That tenacity kicked into high gear, and I just knew that my life was not over. I knew that God had more for me, that I could help people. I was volunteering since I was a child with my father. My dad is the reason for that. And I still had that volunteer nature about me. I thought, why would you take me? I can still do so much, and not to be disrespectful, but there were people out there that didn't want to live.
Yeah. There's people that pissed their life away because they were unhappy with things. But here you are, you're a good person, and all of a sudden you get this diagnosis. I mean, can I ask you something without sounding disrespectful? I mean, where do you get the balls so big to be 3 months? They tell you you're going to die in 3 months, and you say, no, I'm not.
That's part of the 5 stages, I guess, of cancer grief. If you look at it more technically, the denial part. But my personality, I'm a very intuitive woman, and I have a personal kind of faith, not every Sunday kind of church day kind of girl. So I just thought, this is all wrong. No way. So I go into fight mode.
I see.
Absolute 100%. I ain't going down until someone has to really kick my butt to get me down, and this wasn't going to happen until I was down. I'm going to fight, and I'm going to live, and I'm never going to give up until my lights are out. And people can laugh at me and stomp on my grave and say, you were silly for going to Mexico to CMN Hospital for cancer treatment that had no chemo, no radiation, crossing the border. I thought, let them laugh at me. I'm not going to quit.
You're incredible, Shannon.
Thank you. There's a lot of us out there.
No,
I have a whole network of people like me out there.
Guys, if you're just tuning in right now, I'm speaking with Shannon Knight. Go to ShannonKnight.com, and you don't think you could learn something from this woman? You don't think that this woman is going to make a great life coach? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind? I'll laugh at you if you think if you think that won't work. You were told you were going to die, and it's in your bones. I can't imagine how painful that must be. I mean, did they put you on a bunch of drugs, or you're
Yeah.
like? And tell me about that.
They put me on medication that made me nauseous, and morphine messes with your digestive tract and your intestines, and it stops you up, and that's not healthy when you're trying to fight for your life. You can't control the pain any other way.
But the alternative, though, is you must have been in agony.
It felt like my bones were broken. It was on my sternum, my ribs. I had to sleep sitting up, so there was a bunch of stuff behind my mattress. And I slept with my light on. I was like an 8-year-old little girl. I felt like I was afraid of dying in my sleep.
Why?
I was afraid of death.
I'm guessing it's because of the people you leave behind.
Absolutely. I describe it in my book, Grateful Heart,
The new one.
what the difference is between grieving for people who don't want to lose me in death and me not wanting to lose everybody else. It's like being on an airplane. You think you're headed to Hawaii, and all of a sudden the pilot says the plane's going to crash and 1% of us are going to survive. Everyone on the ground, they say, the pilot says, go ahead, give them a call. So people are calling in while we're on the plane. So we're the passengers are the cancer warriors.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling us, oh, I saw something on TV. Hold the cushion like this. And they're giving all their input and all their advice, and they don't understand we are in fighter mode. Whatever we do, it better be right, because the pilot said 1%. So we're getting ready to say goodbye to everyone and everything in our mind and in our heart. We're in fear mode. Regardless of what faith we have, we're still human, and we go through that emotion of fear.
Yeah.
Everyone down there thinks they're feeling exactly the same thing. They're not. They're gonna heal to some degree and go on living life, loving other people, and being loved and being hugged. And we're afraid of disappearing. And I'm just speaking for many of us, because I've been talking to cancer patients since 2006.
It's very hard for me to do this with you because your story is incredible. So when was there ever a time that you're like, I'm tough, I'm going to fight, but it could go the other way?
Yes. When I'd see my son cry, or my son would get tears in his eyes, or my daughter would call me panicking, the reality would kick in. But immediately following, I would just beg God. I remember being on the beach, long green skirt. They gave up on me. I had done radiation to try to stop paralysis from happening. They were just doing radiation on my sternum. They had 40 rounds planned, and they did 22. And I was coughing. And they take your shirt off, and you're laying there. You have to hold still for the beams to go perfectly where they want to line it up. But when you're laying down, you cough. It triggers the coughing. So they said, we can't do anymore. We're done with you. And I remember going to the beach. My sister took me. I will never forget this, because she saw me, my twin sister. She got cancer also and went to CMN Hospital and beat it without chemo. But she took me to the beach, and she never seen me fall apart and be so afraid like a little girl. And I said, it's not like they say. They say that you're going to be ready to die, and you're not. And I just start falling apart. She's playing 80s music, Journey, Eagles, anything from our high school days to cheer me up, to make me happy.
Yeah, did that work?
Yeah, because her friend was in the back seat, and they made a purple drink, and they gave it to me, and it tasted like grape Kool-Aid, and it apparently had vodka in it.
Okay.
So the picture of me with the green dress and the white shirt that's becoming somewhat popular, I was a little tipsy because my sister loved me enough to not want me to feel anything, and did something deviant and a little bit crazy like that. She didn't want to see me hurt.
No, that was called love, probably.
It was love. So afterwards, we went to the beach, and I was with my niece, Madison, and that picture's on my Facebook. You can find it on Shannon Knight. Just scroll down my timeline. It started to get to be about evening time, the sun was setting. I was in Paradise Cove in Malibu. I went for a walk under the pier, and I just laid down, and that's when I got to one of the 5 stages of grief called bargaining. And I was talking to God, and I said, why would you take me? Let me stay. And I promise you, I will work as hard as 10 volunteers, but let me stay and let someone who's plotting suicide and take them home or something. But let me stay. That was my bargain. And you know what? That was in September. And by August, the following year, I was symptom-free of stage 4. In all lobes of my lungs, in my bones, I did all natural, left my country like a little renegade, and beat it at a Catholic hospital that did alternative medicine.
Shannon, by the way, guys, you're hearing this amazing story by Shannon Knight, ShannonKnight.com. Go to ShannonKnight.com. She's taking what she's experienced, and she probably knows a lot more than we do, and has gone through all this. If you're looking for someone that can help you, life coaching, she's the tops. Obviously, can you hear why? Shannon, I have so many questions for you. I mean, people, the naysayers out there will say, oh, this is a freak. This is something that, this should have never happened. This was, I don't believe it. What do you say to that?
It wasn't easy at first, because when I was younger, I told you I was tenacious, but I was shy. It wasn't easy because I cared what people thought about me, and I was a people pleaser. But as time went by and I started realizing what a gift I had to live my life again, I thought, I don't want to waste a day worrying about what people think about me. I'm going to just be real. So reality kind of hits you in the face. You go, I've got 14 family members that have been affected by cancer. My twin sister and I are the only ones that actually went to the hospital in Mexico. I've seen what chemotherapy has done. I can tell you I have seen far more people get healthier and happier doing alternative cancer treatment, even if it's integrative, which most of the time it's the 11th hour when someone decides to go to Mexico like I did. I didn't do it the first time.
Well, they told you to go to UCLA. They said, just go to UCLA. They know everything. But instead, you went to CMN.
Yes. And you know what? People go,
you're crazy.
How did you know how to choose that place? I go, I don't know. It doesn't matter. So the same way I chose the doctor to deliver my babies. I didn't need a testimony. I didn't need someone to... Nobody is going to be like me, and I'm not going to be like anyone else. We're not clones. However, for a first shot, if I had to do it all over again, I would have done that hospital that I went to at stage 3 and probably gotten better results, and it wouldn't have come back at stage 4. Because I had done the surgery, the bilateral mastectomy, went through complications of staph infection, and my immune system was weakened. It came back with a vengeance. So when it came back at stage 4, it was inoperable. They made me sicker with the 22 rounds of radiation. I couldn't breathe. I had an IV antibiotic bag around my waist where the alarm would go off every 3 days to go to get it refilled with medicine. And this went on for a long time. And here I go to Mexico to CMN Hospital, and what happens? I beat it. And I don't just beat it. If you look at pictures of me before and after, I look so much healthier than I did way back in 2006. These treatments are healthy.
This is probably the stupidest question I'll ask, but why? why were you saved? I mean, you're a good person, but good people are not always saved. The good people are not usually, but a lot of the time, bad things happen to good people. Why were you spared?
I think the fighting nature, the training for all of this, people talk about being positive, and I teach that, about the positive affirmations and healing and forgiving in your past. But there's one element I don't hear about, talked about enough, that I have. And it doesn't mean that people that haven't tried with this one element didn't beat it and it's because of something. It's the fighting spirit. It's being willing to stand up on a mountaintop and say, just because one of my parents won't talk to me and they're angry doesn't mean that I'm not going to go where my intuition is guiding me. I go anyway.
But Shannon, this is, I mean, you are like you said, 1%. Most people don't have this strength. Where the hell did you get this from?
It's like being thrown, like drafted for a war. If you're thrown onto a battlefield and you're told, pick your ammo, you don't get to sit in a recliner and think about it. I felt like I was thrown on a battlefield. I felt like I needed to pick out my weapons and start kicking ass. This was not about, oh, let's sit back and read a bunch of it for 5 months and figure out where I want to go. This was a call to action. So I took my chance and I went where my intuition guided me, and it turned out to be right. So I think everybody needs to listen to their intuition and trust it. It may say, do chemo. It may say something else, but you have to trust your God-given intuition. That's how the deer know which bushes are poisonous to eat from and which are not. There's so much loud and commotion around us, life, technology, that we're not in touch with our intuition. We need to slow down and quiet our brain and let our soul do some, guiding and leading in our life.
So, guys, if you're just tuning in right now, you're hearing something that is so incredible. It's from Shannon Knight, ShannonKnight.com. If you go to ShannonKnight.com, you can also go to OneWildflower.com, and then you can go to AngelsForShannon.com. Do I have that right?
Yes, you do. That's for resources on how to raise money with your community.
All those, if you go to ShannonKnight.com, you can get to everything right there. And, it's very rare where I'm blown away here with stories. And Shannon Knight, I mean, do you understand that you're, I'm not insulting you, but you're one of a kind. I mean, this is not how you're supposed to deal with what you had to deal with. Most people I would have been a coward. I would have run. Okay, here it is. This is it. I'm going to say goodbye to people. I'm going to do the best thing I can. But you said, no, that's not happening to me. I mean, that's incredible. Do you ever think back, where did I get this from?
Yeah, I know where I got it from. When I was a little girl, I was raised Catholic, and my dad's a wonderful, faithful Catholic, and he said, I remember we were all kneeling around our bed saying our rosary. That's the 10 Hail Mary, the One Our Father, 10 Hail Mary, One Our Father. And I would ask innocent questions. It's about being truthful. And I'd say, Daddy, if I was God, I wouldn't want people to pray to me like this. I'd want them to talk to me. I'd get grounded because it was blasphemous. It was innocent.
Right.
So I ask questions. I'm a truth seeker, and I really don't. I always say, well, thank you for your opinion. Thank you for your input.
Yeah,
but I'm still going to do what I believe. Yeah, I still got to. This is my life we're talking about.
Right.
This is not, I got to please you, because you know what? My life's at stake here.
Yeah. Shannon Knight, guys. ShannonKnight.com. Go check it out. If you ever thought, that you might need help in any area of your life, coaching, relationships, health, do you not think Shannon Knight can help? I happen to believe it's silly to think that she can't, and I'm hoping that I can get this over to the FM station to run tonight, because you did such a great job, Shannon. Shannon, before we go here, I was supposed to do 10 minutes, but we've done, I think, 40 minutes. Shannon,
a little breaker. It's like you crossed the border and went to Mexico.
Well, you did it, and it took where you are now. Shannon Knight, guys, you want a coach? You want a life coach? Do you think you can find a better one? There's a million out there that are great. Shannon is amazing. There's plenty of people that can help you. But ShannonKnight.com. Go there. I got a feeling you're going to hear a lot more from her on the station. So, Shannon, I've said this before, but now when I say it, I think everyone will agree. You are definitely one of the world's most amazing people, and you're an inspiration, and I'm better for talking to you today.